You've probably heard over and over again that you need to have an email list, that your email list is the only thing that you own because these really are your potential customers. So if you haven't been growing your email list, you don't know where to start building your email list, or your email list has gotten a little stagnant, meaning you haven't added too many new people to it, then you're going to love this show. So let's get on to it.
You're listening to Be in Demand, the podcast for honest advice, inspiring stories, and ideas for growing your business by leveraging the expert that you are. I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, business mentor, and I'm also a reformed painfully shy girl, red wine lover, and exercise enthusiast. Join me as I share how being positioned as the expert in your industry, even if it's a busy one, will help you stand out and be the one in demand to hire and work with.
So your email list is your property, and you've probably heard that over and over again, even though there's a ton of people that are out there that are saying email is dead. No, it's not. It is still a form of communication. People still sign up for lead magnets. It's a great way to be notified on things. So I am here to say, no, it's not dead. Maybe your approach to growing your email list is dead and it needs to be revived. So that's what we're really going to be talking about in this episode. Is all about your email list and how you should be approaching it and growing your email list. Now, your email list needs to be quality. You should be striving for quality versus quantity. And I will tell you that when I first started growing my email list, I didn't know how to go about this. Oh my God, for years, I didn't have a nurture sequence. I didn't know what one was. I couldn't decide on how to write one. The one time I did have one, I was modeling somebody else's, their nurture sequence. And so my nurture sequence was so long. But I would say that towards the end, I was selling a product. So besides the fact of it being so long, I still sold a lot of those products. So in that sense, it did work. I guess I look at it as I wrote these very long emails that probably somebody like myself, I might not have actually read them, mostly because I like emails that are short, sweet, to the point, or have bullets so that I can skim before I decide to read. Now, that's not just with myself, but that's with a lot of humans in general. We are skimmers before we are readers. So we want to capture people's attention, with those bullets. But back to the emails, and really growing your list with quality people, because these people who gave you their email, and an email address really is like a form of currency. I'm going to give you my email address in exchange for something else. It might be for your download, a PDF, a webinar, a recording of something. There's so many different forms of lead magnets that are out there. And that's not the point of this particular episode, but you have to decide what that exchange is going to be. What are you going to give people in exchange for their email? Now, many times we hear about people who, oh my goodness, I haven't been emailing my list for months. And when you don't email your list, that's like you're not holding up your end of the bargain. Yep, you might have sent them the lead magnet, but it's also about building that relationship with people. So how do we add more quality people to your email list? And you probably know exactly what I'm going to say, because speaking is the fastest way to grow your email list with quality people, quality prospects. And we never know where somebody is in their buying journey when they come onto our email list right at first. They might be ready to hire you. I have spoken at events and made the offer to book a call. Get on my calendar. Let's have a conversation. And from there, they actually hired me. But that was a very quick cycle. But then there are people who they need to be on my list. They need to learn a little bit more about me. They want to listen to my podcast, like you're probably listening or watching here. And then from there, they finally decide, you know what? I'm ready for this. They might have to watch a couple of my free master classes, to get that feel and really feel comfortable with that money exchange. But that only happens because you are building relationships with the people that are on your list. And speaking is the fastest way to grow your email list. And so if you have not noticed, evaluated your email list, I mean, one, I want to encourage you, go learn how to clean your list and clean it once in a while. How engaged is your list? Are they opening your emails? Are they responding back to you? Is there this two-way conversation that you are building with these people that are on your list? And how are you sharing your value? And most importantly, these people who are on your list, how are you helping them change their beliefs? And what I mean by changing their beliefs is, like 95% of the people, like there's some huge astronomical number about people who are afraid of public speaking. And I just have a different approach to it. There's so many different forms of stages, and I have no idea where that actual stat came from. Not even going to bother looking anymore because I have looked for the data where this came from. And I'm not sure if it was just something that's completely made up. But being able to get in front of the right people and then being able to share your perspective and change their thoughts, helping them see another perspective, because that's what we want to do. We want to help people like this, by me helping my email list see that speaking is the fastest way to grow your business. You can do it the hard, old-fashioned way, or you can get in front of the right people. You can get on stages and share your story, share your value, and teach a little bit, and then make the offer and bring people onto your email list. Again, when you are in front of other people's audiences who say yes to being in that audience, they are potential clients. And then at the end of your presentation, when you make the offer, you have the call to action. And people who raise their hand and say, yes, I want that. Again, they're a little bit more interested. They're a hotter lead, if you will. It's like, I hate to use that word, they're a hot lead, but essentially they're very interested in what you have to offer them. But we've got to get in front of the right people. You need to get on other people's stages. And when I say get on other people's stages, it doesn't have to be a physical stage. It can be a physical stage, but it could be somebody's Facebook group. You could do a joint Facebook Live, a joint Instagram Live. I just did one of these joint Instagram Lives collaborations last night before I was teaching one of my masterclasses, my free masterclasses. And that particular masterclass was the catchphrase masterclass. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just down below, you can actually watch the replay. There's a link to sign up for that. But I am encouraging you to get in front of other people's audiences, especially if you've noticed that you haven't added that many quality new leads to your email list. I have spoken at events, and a lot of my clients, exact same thing. They've spoken at events filled with their ideal clients, and then they walk away and 75% of the room signed up for their offer, joined their email list. Now, how would you like to speak at an event? Doesn't matter what the size is. It could be 30, it could be 50, it could be 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. How would you like 75% of the room to join your email list? That sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? And that happens when you get in front of the right people. It happens when you get in front of the right people, but also other people's audiences. There's that exchange of like, hey, I want to bring you in here. A large insurance company hired me to come in for one of their leadership programs. What they're doing is they are encouraging more of the women to take on more leadership roles, move up the company. So I was brought in to another company, which is another audience. Somebody put me in front of their audience. Now, because of that and my speaker agreement, they need to refer me to other places or other departments. And this is a very large insurance company that has a lot of different, I'll say, umbrellas. I was not just with this audience, but now they are referring me to other audiences within their company. So that doesn't happen like by me, just like a cold outreach. I mean, it might, but guess what? It is so much easier when somebody else refers you. But getting in front of other people's audiences. And just that last part that I want to sort of touch on again, asking for referrals. No matter who you're speaking for, ask them for referrals. Who else would benefit from the story, the presentation that I just shared with your audience? Who else do you know? The worst that could happen is they don't know anybody and they don't refer you to anybody. But the best situation is they know people and they'll be happy to refer you, especially if you do a great job. Now, how do you do a great job up there? Well, you got to have a compelling, captivating, and most importantly, converting presentation. And this is something that I teach people inside my premium program, In Demand Signature Speech. You want to look like you have been speaking for years. That is the best way to get rebooked again and again and again. And when I say rebooked, but also referred to other people. So having a great presentation is one of the best ways, not only to attract the right leads, to attract the right people onto your email list, but also to get referred to other audiences. And that's what you really want. You want people to be remembering you. You want people to talk about you. You want to be so good that people can't help but rave about you. So I always say the 3 C's lead to the 3 R's. Those 3 C's are compelling, captivating, and converting, lead to your audience raving, remembering, and referring you. So you got to get in front of more audiences. So if your email list has been a little stagnant, then reach out to people. Think of all the different places that you have spoken. And if you haven't spoken, think of all the different places that you see that have speakers. Start making that mental note, all those different memberships, all those different associations, all those different Facebook groups that you belong to. Do they have speakers? Well, start having those conversations with the host. Find out who's in charge of bringing in the speakers. Have the conversation. Be that person. See if you can be that book speaker. Because after you do like 1 or 2, it literally can snowball. But again, I can't emphasize enough that you want to appear like you have been speaking for a while. And that happens when you have a really great presentation. A lot of my clients and students who've gone through in-demand signature speech said that they felt like they had 5 years of experience when they gave their first presentation. And my whole goal for in-demand signature speech is that you feel proud to deliver your presentation. You are literally crafting verbal art, because that's what speaking is. It's verbal copy. You are helping people see a new perspective, to do something different. So until next time, I hope that you will start reaching out to places to speak, to stages, figuring out what kind of stages you want to speak on, whether that's podcasting, your own, or guesting, live streaming, real stages, in-person stages, virtual stages. Maybe you're even hosting your own events. You're hosting your own masterminds, your webinars, master classes, gatherings. I have done a lot of in-person gatherings that I was the host. And those have worked out very, very well for me. I've signed on a number of clients. It's a very profitable idea that you might want to consider. So again, it all comes down to having a compelling, captivating, and converting presentation. So if you want to learn more about in-demand signature speech, depending on when you're listening to this, the doors may be open, but the wait list is always open so that you can learn more and get on the wait list so that you will be the very first person to know when the doors are open again. So again, get on that list at speakandstandout.com/SS for signature speech. So till next week, be in demand.